Coming up, some Ender 3 Pro upgrades and the reason for doing them. Hey everyone, Chris Sergeant Taz here, and today I'm going to go over some of the things I did with my Ender 3s, my Ender 3 Pros. So, why would you want to upgrade things? What do you need to upgrade? Should you bother? There's a few things I'd say you shouldn't bother with. Most of the time, you start reading into these things and you get into like, hey, I want to make it better, I want to do this, I want to do that. And there's a lot of stuff out there, and there's a lot of opinions and ideas, and I'm just going to go over some of the things I think you need and some things I think you don't need. My main thing I'm going to say you absolutely should do right out of the box is, obviously I'm a big fan of upgrading the MOSFETs. These will save you, seriously save you from problems with your board. This one here failed because I was using it so often, and I think it just stressed out the tiny little MOSFETs. These guys are really small. If you look at them, they're not really big. They have little heat sinks on them, but they're tiny. And you're relying on that with 24 volts and continuous printing if you do it a lot. I mean, you do a little bit at a time, probably not necessary, I'll give you that. But overall, if you want safety and you want to know that it's not going to destroy this guy, these are the way to go. Trust me. I mean, obviously not just these. You can use a different brand if you want to. These were $4 at Gulf Coast Robotics. So they're on sale, easy to use. There's plenty of videos out there how to hook it up. I'm not a big in-depth kind of modding guy. I know how to do it, but I don't want to like give you the wrong info. Someone else with a more electrical engineering or what have you has put videos out there and are better at it doing it than I am. So obviously on the side of my channel here there's links to people that I trust, and they have videos on doing most of this stuff already, so check those guys out. And the second thing I'd upgrade, honestly, if I could do it all over again, these guys. These are screw-in thermistors. Yes, screw-in thermistors. Not relying on a little piece of wire and a regular screw to hold everything in place. These are same place, Gulf Coast Robotics, and I don't know why these don't come standard on every printer. This is the way to go. You can run a brand new wire with a quick connect, so if you do mess up one of these, it's a quick replacement. So, as an example, here's your block. There's where your little thermistor goes into, the little small one, and then there's your screw. Take it all off, replace it with this, and it just simply screws in. So now it's not going to pull out or break. If something happens with a print, you actually have a quick connect so that you can just take them on and off if you need to when you're doing repairs. It doesn't get in the way, you're not unscrewing and then messing up that little wire that goes in there. This is all solid. This is perfect for every printer you can think of. This is not just Ender 3 Pros, Ender 3s. Every printer I have now has these on them because I don't want to keep replacing. You get a bad print or something, it's hung up, it tears the wire out, and now you're stuck with having to rerun all this wire. Do it one time before you even set the printer up is the best way, but we all are in a hurry or what have you and don't do that, so there is that. But I would get these guys for $9. That's if you buy the one with all the extension wire instead of having to like solder and crimp and cut. You can run the wire right to your board, has enough length in the $9 package, and it's the way to go, trust me. In the next clip or two, I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I actually did to these guys in the way of self-printing different upgrades that are beneficial, like the bullseye. I did the cable chains mainly to keep the cables out of the way and make it look neater. I mean, it looks more attractive. I like to mod things, so I like to make my stuff look different and look better for myself more than anybody. It's like, you know, I can't have nothing stock, so that's where I'm at with it. But so here we are with my latest Ender 3 purchase. That's the newest one I have in my arsenal of printers, and I've done quite a few upgrades to it. So we'll start off with, I actually did the bullseye upgrade. I like it because it gets both sides, and the mount's nice looking. I also did the MOSFETs. Those are a big deal, trust me. Put these on so you don't screw your board up. I put a MOSFET for the bed and for the heat cartridge. Takes all the stress off your board and you're less likely to fry it. I put the cover on because everything from your build plate winds up falling onto this, or if you spray something on there, you're going to mess up your LCD, which that keeps it protected. Put the drawer in, catches everything, but it does hold your tools. Upgraded the spool holder, and I like this better because it puts less stress on your extruder, doesn't chew it up, puts it off to the side neatly. The CME CNC upgrade, I like this for the flexible, works really well. I also put the cable chains on there. The important upgrades I did cover, like the MOSFET and Thermistor upgrade. These, like I said, are a godsend. I don't know why more printer places don't just put these on. Seriously, guys, if you're listening, hopefully you are, put these on all your printers. Save us the aggravation of that little wire. You actually save money on screws in the long run. You know, you don't need to screw it in and then worry about a wire breaking. These will hold up. I've had a couple of over extrusions and messes on top of, you know, my heat block, so you know, the ooze gets all over, gets all stuck on here, and then you get it off and it takes the wire right with it. These don't have that issue. They hold up really well, so that's where you're at with that. I did do the upgrade at 1.1.4 on this guy here. I'm still having issues with getting the new firmware on it. I'm not sure why my Arduino isn't communicating with it. They said the bootloader was already installed. I didn't find that to be the case. I keep getting errors, and I'm not really great at coding yet. So once I figure it out, I'll share it with you guys what I did. I did update the drivers for the USB, which was one of the suggestions. But I'm not that deep into coding and figuring out a G code and the different codes for Arduino and what have you. So I'm kind of stuck until I figure it out. I mean, the printer's still working. There's nothing wrong with it. I just won't run it overnight because I'm not sure the thermal runoff protection is on there. I want that on all my printers if I'm going to run them overnight. So remember that. If you're going to run these printers stock, I would suggest upgrading your firmware immediately, because that makes sure that thermal runaway protection is on there, because you don't want to be printing something and then have, like, you didn't replace the thermistor like I told you to do. If that goes, the cartridge is just going to keep throwing heat. So over time it's just going to melt everything on your printer and then start a fire, which in my previous videos you can tell I've had happen. So it's not a frequent occurrence, but better safe than sorry. I mean, you don't want to have, oh, I spent $200, $300 on a printer, and then I burnt down my whole house or my apartment because I didn't think it'd be a problem. The XT60 connectors are the other issue. That's a lot of information out on that. I would double check them. Mine were actually done properly, surprisingly. These are 2 newer ones, so there's that. My connectors were all soldered properly. I checked the soldering connections. The connectors seem pretty, like, I want to say they're a better copy of the actual XT60 connectors. They don't seem to have the issues I've seen everybody else have, so double check those as well. I'd get the MOSFETs, and I you know, print the upgrades you think are cool for you. As far as the TL smoothers, I've had good and bad with them. I don't see a significant improvement in having to put those in with the Ender 3 and the Ender 3 Pro. Actually, mainly the Pro, because that's what I've been working with. But I don't see a major improvement in any of my prints. I think that's kind of more or less a waste of money. I'll be honest. I wouldn't buy them. I mean, they're not that expensive, but it's your time. And then you're fiddling around inside a tight little space with these guys trying to figure out where you fit them. And it just isn't worth the aggravation, in my opinion. I didn't see, like I said, I originally had these both stock when I did the upgrade. I actually found that the smoother was actually making my print worse on a few of my files. It just was like throwing off layer shifts and just not working right no matter what I did. It could be bad ones. It's a possibility. I mean, I did order them from reputable sources, but I didn't see enough of improvement that would be worth buying them. The all metal Hotend. It's a nice upgrade if you can afford it and you feel like doing it. Don't get me wrong. I have this micro Swiss on this one here, and it works rather well. Fiddly to dial in, so if you're new to this, I don't say getting that right out of the box. What you can do, and what I've seen on Thingiverse, is it's OneBadMarine, I think, makes it. He has more or less, you put a Bowden tube inside here with a little adapter, and then you screw in your connector and you put your Bowden tube to it. So now you get that whole inside here is already kind of like sleeved and lined, and they work really good. So that guy there, if I get my finger working, that guy there has that set up, and it works just as flawlessly as the micro Swiss. Now, I had fumbly issues being a knucklehead putting together things. My left hand's a little messed up, so I had trouble, and I slipped and I bent my micro Swiss. And I'm going to tell you, the customer service from those guys is excellent. I emailed them and showed them a picture of my problem, that I had more or less gummed up the block, and they immediately sent me out a new one and were very helpful. So it's worth the $65 investment if you want that. You don't have to go there, though. For, like I said, you get enough Bowden tube with these that you can just do the OneBadMarine upgrade, and you're golden. It works really well. And you don't have to add any more money to your printer. More money for filament. How about that? But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Give me a like and a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I really could, you know, I like to feel I'm doing something. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See ya. Okay, sorry. This is an edit. I blatantly forgot. If you're having any kind of issues with your Ender 3, there's a whole group on Thingiverse under the there's like a troubleshooting topic guide under the Creality Ender 3. Couple of great users on there that'll help you out. Just explain yourself really well and kind of give them all the details that what you did or what you didn't do, and they actually cover in the section what you need to give them in order to try and get them to help you. I try and help out on there when I can too. But one of the users, I'm probably going to butcher his name. SHENKOE actually did a compilation of all the different sources out there that he's found, and kind of put them all in one spot on Thingiverse, so you can download the file and read through some of the stuff and kind of help yourself fix some of the issues you might be having. Really extensive, well covered subject. So if you're having problems or stuck on an issue, and you don't want to sit through a dozen types of videos, and you're more or less good at researching yourself but hard to find stuff, he's compiled it for you, and I put the link below so you can go there and find some of the things to cover maybe the issue you're having. It's a really great resource, and hopefully we'll all be adding to it, and that way you can find a section you need and you don't have to go through like 14 videos to find it. So I forgot to add it, and I'm making sure I do add it because someone took the time to go through all this work to help us figure out what's going on. So give him a like on Thingiverse, use his file when you need it, and hopefully it helps you out. Once again, I'm gonna say see ya, and try to remember to organize myself on these videos and give you guys the best information I can. Thanks for watching.